All right, y'all, here we are. It is a special day, final day of the Bassmaster Classic. And man, I tell you what, I was fortunate enough to fish the last Classic here, but it is a different fishery this time around. And I was looking at some of the stats this morning, and there's already been 8 bags throughout this tournament weighed in over 20 pounds. We didn't see a bag near 20 pounds last time we were here. But watching what these guys are doing out here on this river is pretty amazing. And to see who's going to come away with the title today, I mean, it's obviously a giant bag's possible. So it's, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me somebody bring in 27, 28 pounds.
Well, we saw that yesterday, Matt, which was really exciting. How electric was the stadium when Dylan came on the stage?
Oh, I tell you what, I mean, you know, that the feeling of pulling into that arena, and of course, this is his first time. So, but he's handling it like a veteran professional, and that's what impressed me. He fished throughout the day. I watched some of the highlights last night, and you know, he's going to be one to watch today because everybody always says first Classic nerves really get to you, but that kid doesn't seem fazed very much, and the crowd, man, it's Knoxville always shows out, but the crowd was absolutely amazing yesterday.
He seems cool as a cucumber.
He does, yep.
I would be shaking in my flip-flops up there.
Yeah, he put on a show yesterday, and I can't wait to get out there on the water and watch some of these guys crack it today. So.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, we're all so busy here working the Expo. I didn't get a ton of time to watch live yesterday and see how he's catching them, but I'm just interested to see if it's something repeatable and if he can go out and do it again today.
I've got confidence in him, and what's really neat about Dylan is he qualified through the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So what an awesome experience, and then just to know that I think there's only been one other Bassmaster Classic champion that qualified through the nation. Is that
Brian
right?
Kershaw.
Yep, that's right.
The fish whistle. Yeah, that and I believe, you know what year that was, Christine?
That was. It's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm at. I think it was in the 90s. I think it was in the 90s, but I'd have to fact check myself. I don't want to give a wrong answer. You know, Maggie?
Nope.
Nope. She said nope.
I did hear one of the guys on stage. They were talking about they got a towel passed down to them. Was that from the last guy that qualified through the nation? Because if so, I think he said 80s or 90s.
It was, I believe it was in the 90s.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken,
right.
I think it was North Carolina Classic. I think it was on High Rock Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the last nation guy to actually win a Bassmaster Classic. So to see him make it through that path and have an opportunity now today to win the Classic, I mean, that's a dream come true, and it shows everybody the opportunity and the you know, the chance out there to be able to duplicate what he did.
Absolutely.
I mean, the nation is it's a gauntlet too. You know, just to make it through the nation and then be that one person that qualifies for the Bassmaster Classic, it's pretty special.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say not just a great experience, but a great example for all the kids out there. There's so many different ways to follow your dreams and get here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I feel like we have that on the line, and then we have Easton, who has the potential to go back-to-back, which gives me goosebumps just thinking about that.
And
So.
Easton's a closer. Like he gets in this position and he knows how to win. Obviously,
cold.
Yeah, and these guys are so good at what they do now. I mean, it's fun to watch it go down. Easton, what impressed me the most is I watched some highlights from day one. He's catching them on a Carolina rig. You know, a lot of people are quick to label some guys out there like, oh, he's a minnow fisherman, or he's a scoper, or whatever he is. But the versatility that these guys have and what they know, when to pick it up and how to trigger a bite, it's a pretty big deal. And who would have thought we'd have seen the old ball and chain picked up on day one of the Bassmaster Classic?
That's a highlight for me for sure.
Oh, me too.
Love to see it.
It's nice to get the combo in there, watching him just swing on them. Just that
100%.
sideways sweep hook set. It's so fun. And another guy that's just cool as a cucumber this week. That pressure would be driving me nuts. But
yeah.
They're just so calm and collected out there. It's fun to watch.
Well, they're no strangers to success. You know,
right.
Dylan Nutt, Easton Fothergill, you know, you look at their last few years and their short years competing, and they've already notched several other big tournament wins.
Yeah, they very impressive track record, and of course you do have a couple, I'll call them veterans, in the top 10. I think Jordan Lee jumped up in the top 10. He's always scary on the final day of the Classic, obviously. Drew Cook knows how to win big tournaments. Justin Atkins, I think he jumped up.
Huge.
Yeah, giant bag.
Second biggest bag of the tournament.
I didn't check Bass Track yesterday because like Maggie and yourself, I didn't have time. We were here working all day, but I thought I saw he had around 20 pounds, and then I think he weighed in 22 and some change. So huge boost for him, huge jump for him. And Cook's going to be one to watch today too. I mean, the caliber of the fish that these guys are catching, like we've seen, 2 or 3 over 7 pounds already. I mean, you catch 2 7-pounders a day, and I mean, you're there. Yeah, like you're there. And we're talking about the 26-pound bag that Dylan weighed in yesterday. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see a 27, 28-pound bag. Not the way these fish are biting.
I'd love to see it. I'm on the edge of my. I like when they're close like this, you know, when it's
yeah.
still anyone's ball game today.
Yeah, you see him with what, maybe around a 4-pound lead. It might be 3 pounds, 15 ounces, somewhere in there. But I mean, that's half of some of the fish that's been weighed in, right?
When they're out here catching 7+ pounders,
that's right.
that
that's
can
right.
tighten up real quick.
Yeah, and Dylan, I believe, if I read it correctly last night, he had, I want to say he had around 21, 22 pounds, and then he found what he said. They quoted him saying a school of 6-pounders, and caught the 2 6s he caught, which were relatively back-to-back yesterday. I mean, these guys are going to go out practicing today. If their primary game plan doesn't work, they're going to swing for the fence. I know that's a cliche term, but meaning they're going to go fish new water. They're going to look for new opportunities. And, I mean, Dylan found a school of 6-pounders yesterday. He said he got 2 of them to bite, and sure enough, they were both over 6 pounds. And then they dispersed, and it was hard for him to get another one to react and catch another one. But, gosh, I mean, what if he'd caught a third 6-pounder? I mean, you're talking about close to 30 pounds then.
Well, Matt, what's going through your head? I mean, you've been in a situation, so it's at the Bassmaster Classic. You're leading it, and you have a school of 6-pounders, and it's the night before Championship Sunday. What is even going through your head at that moment?
Well, I'll be honest. It's a lot easier to handle when you've been doing this for 20 years like I have.
Yeah.
But as a rookie, I mean, I hope he got some sleep last night. I hope he's rested, because it is going to be a mind game. It's going to be a test of the minds today. And the final day of the Bassmaster Classic, you know, you're out there for one reason, and that's to win. And it doesn't matter if a guy's in 25th place or if he's in first. When you go in the final day of the Bassmaster Classic, you got one thing on your mind, and do everything you can to just make a run at it. You know, just have a shot. But he's got to keep his mind clear. You know, the worst thing that can happen is you go out there and you hook a big one early on and you lose it. And how a guy overcomes that adversity, you know, in a tournament of this caliber will show you kind of the mental game and the strength of his mental game, and how strong it really is, because we've all been in those situations. I'm sure y'all have lost fish in tournaments before. Christine, I know you've probably lost some costly fish in tournaments, but it's going to happen, and you just have to pretend like it never did. And I know that's easier said than done, but that's part of the game we play.
That's right.
Yep. I have to, speaking of Dylan getting rest last night, I enjoyed a beer, and I saw Carter. I thought it was Dylan. I said, what are you doing?
Why wouldn't
you? Need to go to bed.
Yeah, and he picked up another win, I believe, yesterday. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I just said, boy, you two, that's what we're competing against in the Opens right now.
Oh, I
these
know.
I mean, it's absolutely, and you guys are seeing it on the Elites, and my goodness, it's inspiring. It's incredible. You talked about the weights in the Classic here 3 years ago, and it is just a different ball game.
It's a different fishery. I had heard some rumors coming in, which I didn't have to do my homework quite as much this time since I wasn't fishing it, but I still tried to do a little research and I talked to 1 or 2 of my buddies during practice, and of course even though I wasn't fishing, they were still, you know, they weren't complaining to the point to where I thought it was really bad. They were complaining just enough for me to think it's probably actually pretty good. And then when I looked at the guess the weights deal, you know, that Bassmaster.com always does prior to the Classic starting, and I saw quite a few that were 60 pounds. And I was like, yeah, they're biting. They're biting. Here, we're getting out on the water to see Fisher.
Speaking of cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, no kidding.
These rookies, man.
Yeah, there's something special.
Next level.
He is one of the only rookies I've seen sit on a seat while he's fishing, though.
Well, I feel it's because he's constantly just panning.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah,
always has
looking.
that foot.
Always looking.
Martin qualified for the Classic next year at Lake Hartwell. That's going to be another fun one. Y'all, it should show out there too. It's a really good lake. I love Lake Hartwell. It's super fun, but yeah, it's going to be a fun year. I got the rest of the season to look forward to on the Elites this year. Going to some new bodies of water I haven't been to that aren't too far from the house. So hoping I can catch them there. Fingers crossed. You never know, honestly. So got the next one's no scope, so it's going to be a little different, but it is on a river that's pretty fun, throwing a buzz bait and stuff like that. So should be a good tournament. I don't think we'll see any monster bags, but it should be a fish catching event. And the rest of the year, once we get in the Carolinas, it'll be really fun, because these giants live in Santee. That's probably one I'm really looking forward to going to.
hopefully we catch him there, he says.
Yeah,
I
hopefully.
haven't seen him not catch him anywhere yet.
Yeah, no, Fisher seems like a good kid, man. He's obviously got his head on straight, and he's a excellent fisherman, excellent angler.
We saw a lot of smallmouth play early, obviously, yesterday, and I was sitting here itching, waiting for the sun to warm up those shallow waters and get our big largemouth bite going.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we see some few more big largemouth come in today.
it does seem like that largemouth bite's been a little bit later.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's hooked up, I believe.
Yep.
Mega school up, dude.
Oh, maybe it was denied.
I did hear our
They
local
all go- dude, they
Robert
disappear
G
so
say that
fast.
he thinks largemouth are really going to come into play today. So we'll see.
Another big school up there on the lip, I think.
There's still
Oh, here we go. Imagine that. He's got a crew following him.
entourage.
Yeah. You know, that's one thing when you're fishing offshore in a tournament like this. It's not near as bad when you're actually on the bank. That boat traffic does make a big difference with all the waves and crashing and disturbing the environment in general. But controlling that boat traffic and right now, pulling up in the Bassmaster Classic on the final day with 15, 20 boats behind you and they all sat down to watch you. That's an interesting feeling,
Gerald
having
was.
a live audience and then having everybody watching on live too. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gerald was telling us back in the day when people at home didn't have the luxury of watching live, they would have such bigger groups following them around, and they would use that to their advantage and kind of cut by other anglers and try to pawn some of their crowd off on the others.
That doesn't surprise me.
The Easton, Dakota, that mid-Tellico area really seems to have been a big player.
Yeah. Tellico in general seems to be a lot more in play this week than it was last time.
I felt for Dakota a little bit yesterday when someone came and bumped his big bass out by, what was it, 3 ounces?
Oh, yeah. I believe it was a Cook. That was Drew Cook,
Yep.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did
crazy.
we figure out, was that a meanmouth?
It's 100% a
It had to have
meanmouth,
been.
yeah.
That's what there was no way.
Yep.
But who can complain about that? He even said he was giggling like a little schoolgirl out there after
Yeah,
he caught
yeah.
that one. That was fun watching.
Dakota's hooked up. Not much to this one.
We talked about this yesterday, Matt. A lot of these guys are taking time. They're weighing every single fish. And the way Gerald was kind of explaining
Uh-oh. I thought he was going to lose him for a minute. Oh, it didn't measure anyway. Okay.
Oh, it didn't. That's
Okay.
when he
Yeah.
tossed it back.
I usually put my deck lids up back there
Yep.
because I'm so paranoid. Of course, I don't measure them on top of my deck. I measure them down there
Down
on
in
the
the
floor
ground.
just because
Yep.
crazy things can happen,
Mhm.
Sorry, I thought he was going to lose that
No,
fish.
yeah, that's looks like he's got.
Looks like that would have been his first in the box, huh?
Yeah, not showing any keepers for him yet.
He's still laughing, still having a good time.
Here's some
There
highlights
there
from
we
Dylan this morning.
Dylan's got 3 in the box already.
Mhm.
Going for a bunch of rodeos in the boat today.
That's a good one there.
That's the one you
It's
need.
showing 4 keepers for him, so.
Ooh,
That's a nice one.
Largemouth.
that's right.
How about a 312?
312.
Close to a 4-pounder. He keeps doing that with a couple of those 6-pounders from that school of 6-pounders he found yesterday, and that's gonna be a big hill for those boys to climb.
Look at that crowd he's got.
Yeah, we were talking about crowds a minute ago, Maggie, and that's interesting you said what you said, because I remember the first Bassmaster Classic I actually attended was 2004 on Lake Wiley, the one that Talk won in the last 5 minutes. Everybody remembers that one. And he won it on a square bill there. But I remember watching the boats following Jason Quinn around in that classic, and there was no less than 50. Dylan's hooked up again.
Hooked up again.
Looking for his 5th keeper.
Yeah, it's a 15-incher, at least.
Some of that pressure's got to lift when you get that 5th keeper in the box.
Oh, yeah.
2-4.
2 1/4.
Do those crowds fire you up or make you feel extra pressure when you're out there?
No, I think it's really cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I welcome it. I think we have one of the coolest sports in the world where you can actually get in the mix and go watch the guys up close and personal. You know, you can't go down on a football field and watch NFL players. You can't go out on a basketball court and watch them. I mean, you can watch them from a distance, but it's just a little bit more intimate out there on the water, you know, and I think it's one of the most unique sports in the world from that aspect. But it's a cool feeling. I think it's a great feeling. Now, how everybody else handles it, I can't answer for them. But again, 20 years later, it's a little easier to endure than it was first couple years of my career. He's getting another one of those secret prototype baits out.
We were trying to play Guess the Bait yesterday based on a lot of the techniques we were seeing. Some guys were actually working, kind of jerking the rod in a downward motion. You know, we saw Dakota do that a couple times yesterday with. Gosh, it seems like those boats are awfully close. That'd be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a camera boat in front of him or not. And that's the one thing I hope Dylan's not afraid to, you know, come out and say something if somebody's interfering with him potentially catching the winning fish in the Bassmaster Classic, because it looks like they got them pretty well under control. They're staying out towards the main channel and they're kind of lined up out there. So I'd say 99% of all the fans we have on the water are very respectful. You know, very respectful.
Yeah, have we even gotten a glimpse at what Dylan's throwing yet? I think he's keeping that.
I've seen a few minnows laying on his deck.
Yeah.
I think it might be announced a little bit later today.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some of these guys are so good at hiding their baits. You know, first thing they land one, they get it in the boat, they walk towards the trolling motor with their back at the camera, and they pull it and throw it. And I mean, we're all guilty of that if we think we can get an edge over our competitors, right? But at the same time, you know, part of our job is to educate. You know, part of our job is to teach. I hope and I assume after the Classic, regardless of who wins, all the juice is spilled, because that's you know, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all watching. We want to know the goods too. You know, I especially want to know the goods. I'm having to compete against these guys. So I want to know what my buddies are throwing, my competitors are throwing. You know, so but yeah, it's an interesting deal, because there's a lot of different baits in play this week, probably more than people think. You know, people get the misconception of live sonar and everybody's throwing a minnow, you know, and there's so much more to it than that. Whether it's cadences, jig head sizes, you know, style baits, the action of the baits, how you hold your rod action, you know, and it's all about the depth of the fish and how they react to the bait. So
yeah, there's way more nuances to that technology and those techniques than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, there really is, and you know, that's one thing I've had to do. My last 2 winters I've spent like at home, and I don't fish much in the off season, but at home I've put a lot of time in on the water, just trying to perfect that live sonar deal, understanding it better, understanding cadences and what makes fish react, you know, and that's the biggest thing with it.
Do you think for future classics, we had some conversations last night about this, you know, obviously you guys went to half the events without forward-facing sonar, half the events with it, but the Classic, you're allowed to use it. Do you think we'll ever see a Classic where they may divvy that up and have a day without it, or a Classic without it?
Well, I think that the decision for the 27 Classic has not officially been made yet on what we're going to do. The anglers will be a part of that decision later this year. I don't know when that's going to take place. I don't know when that'll be announced. But that being said, as an angler, I would rather see it all out or all in. I don't want to have to balance the in
A day
between
by
deal.
day.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Bass got it right when they split our schedule. It's nice. It was awesome going to Gunnersville and locking that thing up and not having to even think about
Worry
it during
about it.
practice. And then when we went to Martin, I knew that's how it was going to be won, 100%. That's how all the live sonar tournaments are. And I dedicated my whole practice to that. So it does make it a little easier from a decision-making standpoint on our end. But to answer your question, I would like to see at least maybe a rotation of classics where next year at Hartwell, we don't allow it at all. Maybe the following year it comes back. Whatever it may be, I would like to see a mix. I don't want the tournament itself split, though.
Yep.
So if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I talked to a lot of my buddies that are over on the MLF side, and with the split, with the one period, and then the two with it, and it drives some of them. I mean, it's cool to watch, like from a fan standpoint, but it drives some of them mentally crazy, because they know that 3 hours of the one period that allows it is so critical to the outcome of that tournament that it does put an excessive amount of pressure on you. And if you don't capitalize, obviously certain times of year and certain fisheries are different, but here we go with Easton.
Yep.
I didn't know if this is a replay, but this is live.
Yep.
Hooked up.
The old ball and chain again.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's good to see it.
I didn't get a chance to see how many he's got in his box at this point.
Yeah, we'll hopefully it'll pop up here in a minute.
Looks like he was dragging a fluke style bait behind that Carolina rig.
Old Carolina rig fluke, man, that used to catch them back in the day.
Man,
And it still does. People just, they let it go to the wayside, and Easton pulled it out of his bag of tricks, and he's able to catch some fish on it.
And I throw a Carolina rig a lot at home, and I was learning from watching Easton just the different stuff you can do. I'm always just dragging, but he's shaking it, he's twitching it. It's really fun to watch.
Well, we know he doesn't have a limit yet, or if he does, that was his 5th fish.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's old school technique combined with new technology. So it's kind of neat to see that. And again, I think people get a little bit, you get a little bit brainwashed listening to everybody talk about live sonar and assuming certain baits are always going to be in play, but then you see the Carolina rig, and I think that's just so cool.
Gerald was calling him a hybrid the other day.
Easton,
Hybrid.
a
He's
hybrid,
using the
yeah.
technology, but with an old school technique.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very cool.
Yep, looks like we're mapping out to Trey McKinney here.
Yeah.
Two in the box. Ooh.
Sitting in the 7th. It's another one. Finishing second to Easton Fothergill last year over in Texas.
No, I've been starting up in
Incredible
Loudon,
consistency.
or Tellico. So I'm a long way.
No, he's hooked up.
I might have a pretty good one. No. Oh, he did.
I think I heard trebles.
Yeah, I believe he's throwing a jerk bait.
Jerkbait looked like.
He's a keeper.
That's a keeper. There's 3.
Yeah, I've been starting about 40 minutes away from here. I just want to try something new. Because it really didn't work yet awful great. Don't get me wrong, it worked, but I'm not saying it's working crazy, but it's working. You got a 3-pounder at least. Or 2-pounder.
Again, so calm. I just want to try something new.
Yeah.
Championship Sunday.
That's what makes these kids so dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a final day of the Bassmaster Classic. He said he's been starting 40 miles away, and he decided just to completely scratch that and start somewhere else new today. And he's got 3 in the box, so obviously, what he's decided to do is working to an extent. He just needs a couple big bites. Now we go over here to JT, who's hooked up. Looked like he was doing a jerkbait also.
We've also thrown a jerkbait. Decent fish.
Yep, it's a solid one.
Not quite what we're needing, but we're getting closer.
I'd say it's close.
We're getting closer.
The suspense is
211.
211.
Bumped him to third.
It's crazy because last time we were here, it was hard to catch a 14-inch keeper largemouth, and they've raised it to 15 across the board. Of course, 15 on smallmouth, which is helping these guys a lot too. But I say that 15-inch smallmouth really is not even in your bag if you're in contention. So. I'd love to hear that line sing.
Not that small. He's got a little more pep in his step.
Yeah.
A little more.
212, I believe. Was
A little more sense of urgency from Easton here. I wonder if he's got a school he's working on or what. Wants to get back out there.
Speaking of Rob G, have we seen the Rob G belly pat make its debut in this classic yet?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but now I haven't got to watch a whole lot either.
Right.
So here's Aoki. He's been catching them as good as anybody, and consistent too. Very consistent. He's hooked up.
That's one.
Pretty good smallmouth.
I wonder if he has a little bit lighter of a setup than a lot of these other guys scoping, because he really kind of played that one out a little bit more than what
Yeah,
we've
and-
been seeing.
And I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of his, I've seen a few highlights from some of his fish catches, and it looks like he's more on a slow retrieve than a shake cadence,
Yep.
which tells me it's some type of small swim bait, which is what it appeared to be. Somebody's on the move. I see a Bass Pro logo on the side of it, but I can't tell who
I was
it
gonna
is.
say my old eyes.
Yeah.
We
Well,
got-
they don't have 25 boats following them, so we know
Yeah.
it's not Dylan. Old. Wait till you break 40, Maggie. Everything starts going in.
We're not gonna get into age on the live cast today. No. Now we're back to Dylan.
Yeah, now we're back to Dylan.
There's the entourage. My goodness.
I think it's growing.
I imagine it will continue
I
to
think
slowly
it's
increase
growing.
throughout the day. You know, I guess it was 2021 when I was runner-up to Hank after his second classic victory at Ray Roberts, and I didn't. You never know how good you're doing in a classic until about 25 boats just randomly show up and start watching, and then you're like, I might be actually having a pretty good derby here, you know. And you talk about nerves and kind of how you handle that. That's a different kind of feeling, but at the same time, like I said, 99% of the spectator boats out there are very respectful. But when you look behind you and you see that, it is kind of surreal, and it hits you that you you might have a shot to win the Bassmaster Classic. And I'm sure that's gone through Dylan's head if he's looked back and seen that many boats chasing him around. And if that continues to increase throughout the day, it'll be interesting to see how he handles that pressure. But to me, it looks like he's doing just fine so far. He's got a limit of fish. It's early, and you know, he doesn't seem phased by it, which is very, very impressive to me.
You know, I don't know if this is an appropriate topic for the live cast, but when you have a entourage of 25 boats, how do you go to the bathroom?
You face the opposite way.
Oh.
You face the opposite way.
Maybe
yeah.
on Championship Sunday, you're not worried about your bladder, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
They're probably not taking the couple seconds to get.
They're probably not even drinking
Yeah,
water.
yeah,
or
that's
anything.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Go easy on the coffee.
No kidding.
Well, I know with that many people around, you know, thinking about qualifying for the Classic is everybody's dream. If you're a bass fishing fan, I don't think I'd be able to handle it. I would be an absolute mess up there on that boat, just shaking, probably barely making a cast, having that. But I can't even imagine the nerves and just the electricity that these guys are feeling being in that position. You've been there many times.
Well, you know, one thing about the Classic is you hear all the guys talk about it is it's a marathon week. I mean, it's literally like a 10-day process, and there's so much that goes on throughout the entire week in the tournament. When you get to the final day of the Bassmaster Classic, you're almost running on pure adrenaline. So believe it or not, it actually helps calm you down a little bit more because you don't have time to think about the nerves, and your body's just so worn down. You got one thing to focus on at that point. But I think when you get to the final day, you're just so beat from the week itself that you're running on pure adrenaline, and it actually helps, I think, calm your nerves a little bit. That sounds kind of weird, but I really think it does. You know, kind of when you get to a point, you've just been busy all day doing whatever yard work, whatever it is, and your body's just beat down and you're just tired. You don't really have time to get nervous. You don't have time to think or stress about other things. You just want to just chill. Oh, he's hooked up again.
Another one.
I don't know if that
Doesn't
one will
look like
make
it's
it.
going to help him.
No.
He's not acting like it's an important fish. It's hard to tell if it's even a keeper. He's even hiding his fish, much less his lure. So he tossed that fish back. So I'm not sure it was even the 15-inch minimum, but regardless, not what he needs, not what he's looking for.
I'm so impressed watching these young guys. You know, me being newer to a bass boat, I'm really learning and struggling with technology, but learning. And lining up that cast is so much harder than it looks, and the way that they just pitch it sideways, backwards,
Oh, I
and
know,
with the,
yeah.
the accuracy they have is unbelievable.
A lot of people always ask me about live sonar, and people, here we go. So this is the first time I've got to see the leaderboard this morning. It's got Dylan at 62 pounds.
Wow. Oh, my. When did that happen?
50 pounds, 4 ounces, second place. You're talking about a 12-pound lead right
12-pound
now.
lead.
Now, majority of those guys behind Dylan do not have a limit yet.
Correct.
So there's a lot of room to grow there. Drew Cook, not sure. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was his 2-day total, correct, where he's still sitting.
Yep.
So very dangerous. I mean, he's 5. He still doesn't have a fish in the boat. So once he gets going and once he gets cranking, that leaderboard will tighten up quite a bit. But 60 pounds, God, that's 62. Sorry, that's a strong weight.
Well, and again, like we said, one guy finds that school of 6-pounders, and this is a totally different ballgame.
Yep, 100%.
And Dylan found it. Those
Right.
guys know it going
Right.
into day 2.
Yeah.
He's on him. He put up almost a 27-pound bag. He had a 4-pound lead. I mean, if I'm fishing behind him and I'm thinking about that, you have to have that mentality of you got to go after it and you go out swinging.
Yeah, you're going to have to find something special to win this tournament if you don't have that 4 or 5 pound lead. And he showed that it's possible though. Like this lake has got him now. I'm sure it probably always had some big ones in it, but I think the system in itself is thriving. I think we're hitting it definitely on an upswing, or they're hitting it. Excuse me, I'm not hitting it, but they're hitting it on an upswing. But yeah, you're seeing some really quality fish. And of course, it's March. You know, the fish are super healthy. They weigh as much as they will all year, and it's just been a fun tournament to watch because I have not seen Loudon and Teleco fish like this in years, really. And I've been here a couple times in the past 4 or 5 years, so it's pretty impressive to watch.
It's been fun.
Yeah, very fun. But yeah, it's hard to say that he's closed the door. 62 pounds, great bag, but it goes back to all those guys guessed the weights. All the guys that said 60 pounds, normally people are scared especially the anglers that are fishing tournament, are scared to actually tell people the truth on what it's really going to take.
Yeah.
But when I saw those cards that said 60 pounds, guess weight 60 pounds, I'm like, God, they're absolutely whacking them.
Yeah.
Well, it's 100% going to take over 60 pounds to win this classic today. It wouldn't surprise me if it takes 66, 67, 68 pounds.
I was going to say, if I was a betting woman, Dylan's going to make some upgrades today.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no doubt about that. And again, like you got Cook down there with no fish yet. He's sitting on 43 something. He catches a 22-pound bag. What is that? That's 65. I'm not great with math. 65, 66
I think
pounds.
We're
That's accurate.
We're fishermen.
We don't need to worry about
Well,
that.
we have
That's what we got scales.
Yeah, we have
for.
scales that do the math for us. And but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch how this shakes out throughout the afternoon. And I was looking at the weather forecast today. What I saw is a 10 to 20 mile an hour south wind, which I haven't really seen that much. Of course, the south wind kind of blows across the river in a lot of sections of Loudon and Tellico. But I did see a big front moving in this evening. I really think they have a really good scenario setting up for the fish just to really bite today. You got a wind, you got pre-front conditions. You're going to have a little mix of sun and clouds. It looked like so. I think it's going to be a fishy kind of weather day. So.
And current really can play a big factor here too.
100%.
I know a lot of times on these fisheries, they typically will start to generate a little bit later in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it may have been. I did get to hear it. Was it Easton maybe on day one or Dakota? It was one. I think it was one of the two.
Easton.
And okay, excuse me. He said he was running down the river and he saw maybe the way a buoy was laying. And he saw he had. No, it was Justin Atkins. It was Justin Atkins. I'm sorry, because yesterday I was listening to him on stage. So Justin is a huge Tennessee River guy, super proficient at ledge fishing, understanding current and how fish set up. Well, he had found on his mapping prior to practice that he had marked a couple places that just looked good, that set up like Tennessee River type stuff, but it has to have current in order to put him in the right position. He was running down the river yesterday and he saw a place where he hadn't caught a bass on yet, but the current was right. He pulled up there and he smashed him, and he had 22 pounds. So something like that could happen easily today in the afternoon for some of these guys. They get to roll in some current. Guy rolls up on a spot, and he catches 2 6-pounders like Dylan did, or he catches 22 pounds and changes everything. There still has to be an overhead of Dylan's boat, I'm assuming. So it is slick as glass out there. So that 10 to 20 mile an hour wind, not going to be the first time ever the weathermen were wrong. Now it may pick up. That can change in a heartbeat. But doesn't look like that front's really started to move yet. So I believe when it starts coming in, we may get some extra wind, may get some current, and it may really change things up. A lot of these guys are fishing a lot tighter to the bank. It looks like than some of the other guys. I mean, I know Easton might be a little bit more offshore, but a lot of these guys are relatively tight to the bank. And I'm assuming the majority of the fish they're catching are probably in relatively shallow water, comparatively speaking to what a lot of these guys are doing sometimes this time of year.
And as someone who's still learning, and I'm sure a lot of people at home are as well and are curious, I was trying with that aerial shot that we're looking at, trying to just figure out how that spot is set up that Dylan's fishing on. It kind of looks like a point.
Yeah, well, it
it
looks like a
strip.
swing, some type of swing bank. And obviously, if we had a contour map in front of us, we could really dial it in a little bit better on what he's targeting. But the biggest thing about a lot of these smallmouth stuff on Tennessee River, there's certain types of rock, certain types of gravel, and
transition banks,
composition bank, transitions like you said, Christine. And there's certain type things that they really, really like to concentrate and focus on. But he's catching a mix of largemouth and smallmouth, which he's got the best of both worlds. And a lot of the anglers this week are. And everybody said it coming in, can you win on straight smallmouth like Gussie did the last time? And everybody said, I think you're going to need a mix this time. It's been so warm, too. That makes a big difference in that largemouth bite. I say it's been warm. Leading up to the tournament, it was warm. And, of course, Mother Nature always throws them a curveball when the Classic hits. It didn't surprise me Thursday morning when I looked out and it was snowing. So
I'm curious, does it almost look like he's on the back deck right now? I'm curious what he's doing.
Did we catch
Maybe
his weight for today? I may have missed that, what Dylan has currently.
Well, he was sitting on 47 and some change. Is that right? Around 46, 47
Bring
pounds.
Out your math, Matt. What do you got?
Well, he's at 62 unofficially, so
15.
I'm going to let y'all do that.
Is that right? It's
around 15 pounds.
15 pounds,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, around 15 pounds.
So he's got a lot of room to improve, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, compared to what he's been catching, yeah. And, of course, that's all unofficial.
Yep.
But still, a starter bag, 15 pounds, pretty strong, you know?
Pretty strong at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Just think of the difference from when we were here a couple years ago. Gussie come in with roughly 6 pounds and still had that win on the
Yeah,
third
two
day.
fish. And that goes to show you how tough it was. I think the largest bag weighed in that tournament was 16 pounds, which I don't know how many bags over that we've seen. I know we've seen about 8 bags over 20.
I feel like 12 is the new 20.
12 is the new 20, yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I've been getting the last few years here. It's incredible.
Can you walk me through in a tournament like the Bassmaster Classic, a 3-day tournament, hopefully? How important is it? I mean, are these guys holding out on any of these spots? Are they saving some of these fish? Are these spots, you know?
Well, it's funny you said that because I believe I heard Drew Cook on day 1 at the weigh-in, he had 19, I believe, the first day, and he said he laid off of them, and I'm sitting here thinking, you know, it's always hard to gauge what you've really found in practice until you start to really expose it in the tournament.
Right.
And if his goal was 20 pounds a day, he knows he has to pace himself. But when he came in, and there was a lot of guys that had that 18 to 21 pound, Easton was leading first day with 21. He realized especially after day 2, that maybe I should have leaned on him a little bit harder. Fish management is always key in a multi-day tournament, but the Classic to me is a little bit different. It's not a points deal, so it is a all in or all out. And to me, on a river system, when current's a big factor, and the fish seem to move around quite a bit and reposition, if they're biting and I'm on a spot,
Catch them.
I'm gonna catch them for all they're worth, because tomorrow might be a different day. So here we are back out to Trey.
4 in the box, looking for his fish. There it is.
He's hooked up. Ooh,
Oh,
that one got some.
that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. Small jaw. It's at least a 3-pounder.
Ooh, that scared me.
Typical
Getting
smallie.
mad, dude.
That scared me.
Like really mad. Like really, really mad. Oh, there we go. Not a bad one.
That's the limit.
Not a bad little smallmouth.
Pretty one.
We'll take those. I think he was spawning. Thank you, buddy.
There's that crowd.
There's somebody up on the bank
Yep.
there.
Yeah, 3-pounder. 3-pound smallmouth.
Good fish.
As the color on that, I don't know about you, but a lot of the fish we were catching at the Pro-Am out on Douglas were really light, but we were catching them shallow, so we were thinking they were just moving up. That one, they were so dark.
Yeah,
Looks like it's been up for a
he
while.
said, if you heard Trey, he said he thought that fish might have been spawning,
Spawning.
which could have easily been sitting down there next to a rock for a little while too, which, you know, will darken that fish up, especially he's been up there shallower for a while.
Looks like we're
Bring his
back
colors out.
Back with Aoki here.
He's hooked up. He's sitting on the limit, so he's looking to upgrade.
Doesn't seem too excited about that.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know if that'll do it.
Not what he needs for sure.
It's been a wine burner.
I was gonna say, if he's bumping that fish, he's got a squeaker
Yeah.
in the box for sure.
Off he goes.
Dylan Nuts on the move.
Yeah, looks like he's on the move. Wonder if he's going to check his 6-pound school yet.
That's what I wondered, Matt. I mean, you know, depending on where that school was, if he's sitting there waiting, saving that for last, if that's a late in the day type of spot.
Yeah, if it's current related and, you know, there's not a lot of movement and things going on right now, he could definitely be waiting to check it. But if it was me and it was in the general area and wasn't way out of the way, I'd probably be checking about every 30 minutes.
Right.
Personally, just to see. But well, he didn't make a very
short
far move. Yeah. You know, that's nice. That increases your efficiency so much more, too, when you can create a milk run that's all within 3 or 4 miles of river as opposed to 40 or 50 miles of river, because these guys are able to go a very, very long way from takeoff. And to be able to have multiple spots within a small area is a big deal. It just makes you that much more efficient.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, we're being told, have hour runs.
Yeah.
And think about that. On your way back, you know that as you're running back to weigh-in, guys are just getting to their final spot.
100%.
Scary thing.
And I fished Tellico last time we were here, and there was literally a handful of us in Tellico. And when I say a handful, I want to say 5 or 6 guys.
Wow.
This time it looks like Tellico's been the major player. God, that was quick. He's hooked up
That was
again.
quick.
Grab him.
It's like a pretty good one.
Yep.
Excited about this.
That's a good one.
Big
I don't
smallmouth.
want it.
That one wanted it. I'd say, would that
Yeah.
take 45 seconds?
Yeah, first cast possibly. On a new
Another real
spot.
long one. Real skinny though. I guess he's got a little bit of a gut, but
See what it weighs.
that's a 311.
3 3/4 pounder.
That'll help.
Yep.
That's a good one.
So I'm going to assume that's probably going to bump him up to that 16, 17 pound range already. And
Been almost 65 pounds.
he's on that build-a-bag program, and he's got still got a lot of room to grow. A couple big bites. I don't know if he's got a 4+ pound fish in the box yet, but he's been catching some 5s, obviously some 6s, and he's got a long time to grow too, and that's kind of a scary thought for his competitors. The good thing is his competitors don't know what he has. So if they did, you talk about a mental game, that could definitely weigh on your decision-making skills
yeah.
throughout the day.
You know, and a lot of those guys up there, those younger guys, Dylan, Easton, they're so easy to root for because I've seen nothing but humility from a lot of them. You know, that quiet confidence, and to me, that's just, I like rooting for those guys.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easy as a fan, and you know, I've got the pleasure to be. I don't personally know Dylan, hadn't met Dylan, but Easton, Fisher, a lot of those guys that are fishing the elites with us now, they're like the rest of us. They grew up around fishing and hunting in the outdoors, and most of them are just good old boys, and you know, they chase their dream and they're living it now, and they're you know, they're just excited to be here, and they have the same passions we do, and they're all very humble. Very few people in the outdoor industry will you ever meet and walk away from and say, man, I just really didn't like that person. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so many good people in this industry.
Oh, yeah.
All cut from the same cloth, speaking the universal language of bass fishing.
Yep.
I think so many of these young guys today have such strong support systems too. You know,
Absolutely.
like Fisher and his dad. It's so fun to see them, all the support he gives, and just all of, you know, one of my favorite things sitting in that crowd at the Bassmaster Classic is when that light shines on their entire group, their family with the big fat
They
heads.
got the fat heads
you know,
and the signs
it's just,
and all the goodies.
It's so cool to see. I mean, you can't do it if you don't have that support system. You know, I know a lot of the guys were shouting out, you know, their wives at home that keep everything running, you know, with the kids. The guys wouldn't be able to be out on the water if they didn't have that team. So it's really cool to see.
No, they are the real MVPs, because this is a team sport. Whether people think it is or isn't, this is a team sport, and this is hard to believe, my 20th season fishing full time. And if it wasn't for Emily and the rest of my support team and sponsors, like, you know, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. But yeah, they don't get enough credit, you know, and it's a very important part of what we do.
Absolutely is. And Emily, not only I know is such a supporter of you, but she shows up to a lot of our Bassmaster workshops.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
is
yeah.
always-
She
so
loves
she's
it.
so great.
Which I'm a girl dad. I have 2 girls too.
I was gonna say
and
that. Yep.
One of them is really hardcore into the outdoors, my youngest, and my oldest is more the dance and cheerleader, and she's into tennis and stuff now. And it's funny because every time you talk to somebody that has 2 kids, they're usually complete opposites.
Yeah.
Which mine are, which I wouldn't have it any other way. Which I love that, you know. But you get the best of both worlds, and it's well, obviously, y'all know, my daughter. My youngest daughter has a picture of Maggie Joe. We got to get one of you on her door going into her room. I don't know if you remember giving her that.
I do.
But
yeah.
she actually put that on her door going into her bedroom, and it's still there to this day. I think she might have got it at last year's Bassmaster Classic.
She did.
Possibly,
I
yeah.
had the pleasure of meeting her, and that's just something I really appreciate about you and a lot of the guys, you know, just being so supportive of our Bassmaster initiative. And, you know, little girls like your daughter is what this entire thing is about, just being, you know, being positive role models for them and hoping they can come up in the sport and end up on this stage that we've been watching this weekend.
Well, yeah, that program's really cool, and I got to participate a little bit at the Guntersville event, which was cool during the owner tournament. But here we go. So it's got Dylan up to 64 pounds. Wow. Showing 11-pound lead right now unofficially. We look down the leaderboard there. We're still looking at Drew with 0 fish. So, you know, he's I say only 20 pounds back, but when you don't have a keeper in the box, Drew's been catching average over 20 pounds
really,
every day.
That's nothing.
Justin Atkins, I guess he's sitting there right around with 0 fish because I believe he was at 43 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, after day 2. So those are the 2 guys I keep my eye on. I mean, when you don't have a fish in the box, it doesn't take but one good stop, one good decision on the Tennessee River, like Justin did yesterday, and you put 20-plus pounds in there. So they could easily make a run.
Yeah, the top 10, 40 pounds, so that's down 24 pounds.
Yep.
People are catching that.
That's right.
We'll see.
Here we go out to Dakota.
You can only see real fish in the box too. Hooked
Yeah,
up.
he's hooked up.
I'm gonna put this one in a box, okay? Don't kick him out, Mark.
That'll keep.
Uh-oh. He said he's going to put him in the box, don't kick him out.
Sounds like we had a rodeo.
I hope that
Sabotage
doesn't mean they had a
championship
bad experience
Sunday.
earlier.
You know I'm gonna give you heck about
His
that.
spirits still
Spirits
seem
are small
high.
kids, huh?
Yeah.
Dakota's spirits are typically pretty high.
I really wasn't even gonna put him in a live well, honestly, because I didn't. Where's my scale?
Oh, man. That hurts to have one flop out of the boat. But
So,
I love the positive energy, though. Yeah, you can tell it just seems like he's just happy to be here.
That's right.
Championship
Yeah, I
Sunday,
wasn't even
he's
gonna put him in
catching
there
them.
his
because
first
at the end of the
classic,
day,
too,
if we
so that's a
land
pretty
that
special
fish,
moment.
Absolutely.
It ain't gonna matter. So, if we, at the end of the day, if we weigh in this fish, it ain't gonna matter. But I'm still gonna do it.
Well, we didn't get a weight on that fish, but solid keeper it looked like. I know it feels good for him to have his first fish in the boat after what had happened previously. I say always put those fish in the bottom of the boat where they can't flop out.
Whatever, man.
His commentary always cracks me up. Those casts, that's not easy.
Fish is right there, too.
That's a pretty big one, I think. Not a bad one. He barely got it hooked. He just nipped it. So if this one comes off, I will not be surprised. I got to play him pretty slow because he just nipped it. That's all he done. Just barely, and it's in the bone. There we go. Not a bad one.
Solid largemouth.
Look at that, just popped out, fell out. I can tell by the way he hit it, he just went,
Yeah, that's a good one.
dink. There's a good one. $3 1/4.
give him over a pound and a half upgrade at least.
It's not going to catch him up to Easton just yet, but good call.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a look at this, y'all, it's every fish that's over 4 pounds that you see on this map is what's been caught throughout the Classic so far. Compared to the last time we were here, you could probably take off 90% of those dots. And that's what's crazy. Like, you see how good this fit, and see how spread out they are. You've got them all the way from the upper reaches, or at least mid-lake and Tellico, all the way back towards takeoff on Loudon. And you got one little lonester down there.
Yeah.
Looks like around, might be close to the canal there. Yeah, not too far from the canal on Tellico. But yeah, it's a it's pretty amazing map. You see little clusters here and there, but it's pretty well spread out. I mean, there's big fish all up and down this fishery, and they've been capitalizing on it.
Well, and talking about spread out, some are kind of off of main lake stuff, and some are back in
Yeah.
creeks a little bit more. So it kind of looks like.
And it's that time of year, especially with your smallmouth and stuff. A lot of those fish will spawn in the main channel, whether it's on bars. Here's Dakota hooked up.
We'll take him for a boat ride for a little while too, though. Don't want to make him feel left out. Hopefully he don't get to see the big stage today. I'm sure he's a keeper yet. Long tail on him. Big 111. How about it?
111.
Crowd goes wild.
Well, he went from 0 fish in the box to 2 pretty quick there, at least.
Yeah.
Back to Fisher and Aya here.
He swam that way when
Sure
he
he's
went
up to
out.
something.
Just chilling on his butt seat. I love it.
Gosh, Fisher still doesn't have any fish in the box.
And
huh?
it's not showing any.
Wow.
There he is.
Getting ready to.
There he is out there jumping around. Hope he's gonna make the squad. Probably not. I mean,
Close.
barely 15. Well, we ain't zeroing. I'll
That
put him in
counts.
there. Clear out this scale.
Getting a nice close-up of his fish here.
I was trying to take a look at his map there to see what
Pound and a half.
fish is.
Number 1.
Trying to peek in on where he's
Yeah.
at.
I don't look too far from here, Matt.
Did you remember your notebook today?
That's right, yeah.
Middle notebooks, I already jot
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah, dry live wells. He's still his #1 keeper. I tell you, that can change your whole day, though. It just changes your mentality, gives you a little confidence, and yeah, it can be a big boost.
I think we're gonna take a look at the leaderboard here again.
Yep. So here we go with the whole crew, and still looking at the top 10 is similar to what we saw earlier, but Dylan's obviously still leading. Same margin he had, so we're looking about 11 pounds back as Easton. Trey down at 40. Trey's got a limit now, but he's at 48.11, so he's got a lot of room to grow. I think JT's still sitting maybe 1 or 2 shy of a limit.
He's got 4 fish.
Got 4 fish. Aoki's got a few in the box. Not sure if
He's got a limit.
he does have a limit, and Drew and Justin still sitting on 0 fish. But again, I still think those are the 2 that we need to keep an eye on. Dakota's starting to catch a
Drew
couple
has
bass.
1, and I think Justin's got 2.
Okay, so Drew does have 1 fish.
Dakota's got 2.
Okay,
Leslie's got a limit.
Okay.
Chip's got 4.
got you.
Moving on down. Kyle Welcher.
That's what it is, Christine. Your eyes are just better than mine. So
I didn't even see the. Now I see the lines.
She's telling me how many fish they've got, and I'm saying I don't know how she's just pulling this out of thin air.
I was just hoping you guys thought I was pulling some Mercer
Yeah,
right there.
I was like, photographic memory over here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's see. Got Brock down there at 25th, and 25-12 is the cut line right now. And yeah, so it's funny because you look at Corey, who just barely missed out on fishing day 3 at 25-3, and last time I believe 25-3 would have had you somewhere around 10th place.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, probably close to the top 10. It was a totally different fishery last time, but this has been a lot of fun to watch. One thing I wanted to talk about, Maggie, that you touched on earlier is you saw Trey just flick his bait out there. It looked like it was relatively close to the boat. But live sonar is such a fickle game, and the questions I get asked all the time and I'm by far not one of the best in the world at it. These kids are the ones that are the best in the world at it, but I'm still trying to learn the game. But stealth and your mechanics, just your general mechanics. You know, we used to say how important mechanics are to be able to skip a jig 30 feet under a dock. Well, now the mechanics are being able to keep your foot on that dial, watch that fish, move that dial with your bait, with the fish, follow his cadence, follow his reactions, and make a precise cast. Because every time you miss that cast, the guy beside you or these kids out here that are so good at it, they're not missing that cast.
Right.
So if I make 20 bad casts a day and these kids aren't missing a cast, you know, and that's the difference. It's how efficient they are. And then stealth is important too. You get in an area that's got a lot of fish and you start spinning that trolling motor around and prop washing things and disturbing the environment, makes a big difference on how many bites or how many of those fish you can actually get to commit. What amazes me is every time I watch these kids fish, that you see how close some of them, and I say kids because I'm 45 years old, just so y'all know, I can say that. I can say kids. And they're pitching, you know, 10, 15, 20 feet away from the boat. A lot of people are thinking that they're catching these fish 100, 110 feet away. We can see that far with our live sonar, but a lot of those catches come a lot closer than that. And that's just because it's a lot easier to be more efficient at close ranges. But yeah, I think the same concepts that we use fishing in ultra shallow water with our stealth and our mechanics and how accurate we are casting, all that makes a big difference. And with live sonar, it's no different to me.
It translates right over, and you said it, Matt. It really is all about efficiency. A lot of times you get one shot at these fish. And I know in some tournaments, this one probably not so much, but other tournaments, these guys will pass up what they think are 1 to 2 pounders, and they're targeting specific fish, and that's what really gets dangerous.
Yeah, and that's something that I've tried to work on a lot, is really being able to identify the fish, the species, the size, things like that. And what blows my mind is how much water and how fast these guys can cover it, and how efficient they are with their casting. If you throw at 153 pounders a day and I throw at 50, then you got a lot better chance of winning than I do. Now, a lot of those fish aren't going to bite, but you got a lot better chance of catching more than me. And it's no different than back in the day on Lake Norman when we used to run docks with a jig, and I always said the man who fishes the most docks wins, right? Like, and it's the same. It's the same with this deal now. So it's all about efficiency. I guess the Expo has opened.
I was just about to comment. We're seeing a lot of people pour in here. What a great day to be at the Bassmaster Classic. This is always my favorite day.
Yeah.
I love Championship Sunday. We have a lot of excited fans, and if you guys watching are out there, stop on by, say hi, come visit the Bassmaster Classic Expo here in downtown Knoxville.
Yeah, we'll be bebopping around the Toyota booth, Bass Pro, Ranger. I'm sure you girls are going to be here throughout the day. Y'all going to be spending time in this booth?
That's right.
Okay.
Got
And
a couple hours here.
and you got a busy schedule?
We'll be here.
Yeah, as always.
Well, actually, we'll be recording a live podcast in the Bassmaster booth as well. I believe that's from 1 to 2.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to swing by and watch us record that, that'll be a good time. I'm not seeing a ton of ladies around because they're probably all at the coffee meet and greet this morning, having a good time with our fellow Bassmaster ambassadors. So.
Well, and they came to y'all's program was yesterday, correct?
Oh, the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh my
at our workshop yesterday.
We had 80 sign up for that. What an amazing deal. We got to hear so many great questions from the gals, ladies of all ages, all experience levels. That walking over there, I know Maggie and I both felt it. Just seeing everybody there, that was such a cool thing. Yeah, I was actually working in the Ranger Bass Pro booth, was right behind where y'all were doing your seminar, and that was a sight to see. And it got me excited just to see how much participation y'all had, and I know that's a heck of a program. There's Dylan hooked up again.
Oh,
Almost jumped in the
Swing and
boat.
a miss.
he's all right. He's getting fired up.
Little fist bump. That means that's a helper. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Did I see a little shake in that hand? Did you see that?
Smallest fish is a 2.6. See what it weighs.
How about a 3.9? Puts us to 19 pounds.
He said
right
puts
there
him at
might be the
19. Did y'all hear that?
So then, Matt, let's talk about that real quick.
So
Is that enough of a lead?
it's never enough. Like, in your mind, I don't think it's ever enough. Anything can happen the final day of the Bassmaster Classic. Now, 19 pounds on top of what he's been catching the last 2 days is really, really strong. And his competitors, I mean, they got a big hill to climb. But, you know, I'm going to say if he breaks a 20-pound mark, which he may be there now. He said 19, and that's unofficial. But if he breaks a 20-pound mark, man, it's going to be. I never say it's done till it's done, but I mean 20. If he catches over 20 today, that's going to be tough for the rest of them.
The one thing that's catching me up though is those guys that maybe have one fish or none.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's let's see. You're talking about Drew. You're talking about. I think Drew might have had one. Was that right?
One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Drew
then Justin.
That's still. I'm keeping my eye on them.
Yeah.
You know, they have so much room to move up that leaderboard.
Yep. And Dakota too. You know, he's sitting on 2 small keepers, and these guys make the one right decision. One right decision is all it takes. Get in the right area. Dakota's hooked up.
That'll be his third keeper.
Yep. Believe that's a smallmouth.
Man, all of them turned away from it. Thank you. Oh no, don't do that. Dude. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Dude. It's like
We're just not seeing the quality of fish
No.
you know, that he was catching yesterday here, but
when I first seen
Chipping
him come
away.
Up, I was like, oh, is it good?
It's hard to duplicate a 7-pound
It's not
meanmouth too. So.
Right.
But no, they were like they all just swam away from it, so I let it go to the bottom. But I guess when I got on the bottom, you stop it. 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
2-pounder, I believe. is
We're
what
gonna
he
make a
said.
move, actually.
So they're getting. He said he's getting ready to make a move, which I think, you know, final day of the Bassmaster Classic, your groundkeeper fish. You know, you're gonna have to make some decisions sometime to try to make a run. So I don't know if y'all knew, and this is for anybody that's going to be able to attend the Expo today. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, by the way, but I'm going to say it anyway because I thought it was one of the coolest things ever. The 7-pound meanmouth that Dakota caught yesterday, y'all know where it is?
No.
You know where it is?
No.
See that aquarium right there?
No way.
It's in that aquarium.
No way.
Yep.
Kid.
Yep. So anybody that swing by the Expo today, if they want to see that fish in person, I've been staring at it all morning. So
Yeah, I'll be right back.
that's how I know. And they will probably get to move that fish over to one of their stores, which is really, really
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
Really cool.
And the 7-pound meanmouth special fish. Here's Easton hooked up. Carolina rig and steel. Oh yeah.
He's real good about turning his back on that, isn't he?
You know what? I'll talk in a minute. Got to peek at that bait.
2 pounds.
2-pounder.
I didn't catch his small fish.
Must be smaller than 2 pounds. So he's got a lot of room to grow too. So
Yeah.
I still have hopes for Easton. I know that with his composure, I think we're going to see some big things happen here in the next few hours.
Yeah.
And gosh, I want to say the past couple days, the spot he moved out to with that Carolina rig, was kind of an afternoon deal too, right? When he was catching those really quality smallmouth. So
Yeah, I haven't got to follow it, but I had heard a lot of his weight was coming late.
yeah,
Well, we've seen that bridge in the background of a lot of his
right.
a lot of his days here, past 2. So he's casting at that point.
I was going to say what I saw. It almost looked like a dang Sacamana shad on a Carolina rig, but I don't know if that's what it was. I know he's a Strike King guy, but that little infamous minnow has been all over the place.
I think a lot of college kids have sold kidneys to get their hands on
To get their hands
the
on
last 5 years.
You're probably right. That's probably an accurate statement.
Who needs them?
I mean, I thought about it.
Thought about selling a kidney?
I mean, at least one. I
Yeah,
think
you
can
got
make
to.
it a-
You
make it a
have
little
to.
bit with
Yeah.
that.
Make sure the other one's good first. Yeah, there's no problems there. Dragging the old ball and chain around. You know, it makes Easton a little bit more dangerous, too, the fact that he's going in the final day not leading the Bassmaster Classic. He's actually a couple spots back, and I always think that makes a guy more dangerous. Just gives you a little bit different mindset.
You can just you can see kind of just the, like I said, kind of just pep in his step compared to some of the guys that are feeling maybe a little more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But he's hustling, you know, when he's weighing those fish. And
There's Dylan. He's on a new spot, looks like.
Speaking of efficiency, just witness how many casts he just made in that little segment right there.
It looked like that fish started maybe around his 12 o'clock, and he's kind of following it down the bank. Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that one to bite. But notice he wasn't rolling around on the trolling motor when that fish was swimming by him. You know, that could have easily messed up his whole situation. And he's going to make a move
he's out of
again.
there.
It's funny, you can roll up on places and certain time. It's all about timing. Fish, even though you can see them with this live sonar now, it's still a timing thing. They either want to eat or they don't, and there's more often than not they're not going to. But it's amazing how many fish you can throw at that just refuse to eat your bait. And he's doing the right thing. He's still moving around looking for aggressive bass.
Ooh.
Beating his chest.
So he's been here before. He is in the lead, and I know that's a lot of pressure, but I just feel like his level of confidence in himself and his abilities is pretty unmatched. In this tournament right
he's
now.
in his comfort zone. Obviously, this is what those kids do best, and he is. I mean, when you're sitting there with close to 20 pounds in the box on the final day, that helps a lot too. If
Right.
he didn't have a fish in the box, it'd be a little different, you know.
Right.
But he's got a very solid bag, and still a lot of time left. And that's what's scary for the rest of these guys for sure.
And that's a fellow Berkeley teammate, so I know the folks over there were pretty excited about what he's doing right now.
Yeah, so you know what bait he's throwing.
You know, I might have an idea.
All right, we can talk after we get off live. How about that? You can trade a kidney for it.
I was going to say, you got a kidney?
So now that's something new. I don't know if he switched to a jig. I would assume watching the cadence it is, but if it's still a Carolina rig and he's popping it like that, that's
I'm telling you,
Looks like
he
he
was.
had a
that's
fish.
pretty crazy.
Well, it looks like he just had a fish eat it.
Oh,
Missed. You see that hook set?
maybe.
Or was he just working it real aggressively?
That's what it looked like, and that's
Yeah,
why
I may have missed that last
I
call.
don't think that is I don't think he's throwing a Carolina rig
Okay.
anymore.
I'm telling you, he was doing some stuff the other day that
With that
I've
rig?
never done with my Carolina rig.
Mental note.
It changes everything too when you can actually see them. You know, you're watching how those fish react. So, gosh, if we knew how many fish probably followed our Carolina rig in over the years from
Right.
just dragging it
I'd
and
be-
followed it all the way to the boat until we wound it up and made another cast, but never got that fish to bite.
I'd be bald. I'd have pulled all
Yeah.
my hair out, I think.
You know, we caught a lot of fish over the years popping a jig like that, or stroking a jig is what a lot of people called it. But we would do it more on slack line. You know, he looks like he's doing it more on a tight line. And the reason we would do it on a slack line is because you'd want that bait to hop vertically and fall vertically in front of that fish's face. When you jerk it on a tight line, that to me it's coming out of the strike zone faster.
Yeah.
But again, I couldn't tell exactly what he was throwing.
I couldn't tell either.
Could you see it, Christine?
I couldn't. No.
Is it a secret birthday
Are you
bait?
lying? Is she
No,
lying?
no.
to us?
Are you lying?
I
He-
plead the fifth.
Yeah, I think Easton, he's a striking guy.
He's striking
So
back.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, I don't know.
That doesn't mean he doesn't throw with a brand. I'm just saying, like, you know,
Yeah.
that's you just never know. But yeah, that's really neat to watch what he was doing with his cadence there. And like I said, the entire game changes now when you can see the fish and you can see how they react to your bait. So it's to me it's similar to bed fishing. You know, y'all know what it takes to sometimes make some of those ornery bed fish to bite, and it's no different when a fish that's not actively feeding out there and you're just trying to get him to react to your bait. Fisher kind of exposed that a little bit at Lake Martin when everybody was watching him throw the little fuzzy ball baits, and the way his cadence was super critical to getting a lot of those big fish to react, and that was a neat deal to watch. I mean, I got to watch the final day when I was headed back towards North Carolina, and just watching his cadence on his retrieve was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And then we saw that same thing at the Bassmaster, or at the Open at Rayburn.
That's right.
After
That's
huge
right.
one
Yeah,
straight to
when
with no
Pake
practice and
got
Pake,
dang near 100 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what his total
it
was,
was
but
a record. It was 90 and change, I believe.
Yeah,
it was
yeah, that's-
incredible.
for 3 days, you know, I know he was a little bit disappointed in not being able to have an opportunity to crack 100 pounds, but he probably, I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have got him a belt. I'm not gonna go out on a
I
limb
think
and
he
say,
gained 7 pounds.
yeah,
One fish for
that's
him.
that's one fish on average for what he was
would've
doing.
done it. That's
But
incredible.
yeah, that was an impressive bite, and you know, I talked to some of my buddies that are locals down there, and they knew the lake was fishing good, but even those guys still said they thought 15, 16 pounds a day wouldn't have won. Of course, wouldn't have won, but would have been a lot better than
Yeah.
it was. You know.
Well, I caught 15 pounds a day, and that was not.
What-
That was not.
so you
bad.
had 30 for 2 days, and where'd you end up?
100. I think it's 100.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
30
it was
pounds.
rough.
I didn't know it was that strong. So I was thinking 15, 16 a day would have been a check, no problem, but it wasn't even close.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's whacking them.
Yeah, you really had to be on that. I feel like it was at 17, 18, 19 pounds consistently. And we saw, however many bags over 30 pounds. And
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane, and just to see the sheer quality of the fish and and how big those bass were. At least we got to see a lot of those guys catching them on bait cast equipment, because I can use bigger line on a spinning setup, but I don't like to. I don't feel like I can handle a big fish as near as easy. Obviously, a lot of these guys now, I mean, and when I say big, I'm talking like 8 to 10 pounders, like not 4 and 5s. Like when you get in that 8, 9, 10, 11 pound class fish, that's just a different animal. And especially down there in Texas, like they're built a little bit different, they act a little bit different, and they're just strong. They're strong fish. But I always got to feel like I need big line, big rod and reel in order to handle those suckers.
Well, not just for the fish anymore, Matt. And for me personally, I only own 2 of those full cast baits. I don't plan on losing one anytime soon.
Were they catching them on the big ones?
They were.
Okay, so
Full cast.
yep.
The full cast. So that is able to be thrown on a bait caster, and I'm throwing straight 20, 25 pound fluoro because I just don't want to lose it. I can't afford to.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that's about $20 a pop.
Yeah.
And now,
Well, they're selling for 30 at Tackleack.
well, I've heard eBay's getting $50, $60 for them. So
And I hate to say it, I'd pay it.
yeah,
I might pay 70. I might give it.
you might give a
I was
kidney
gonna
for a
say
quickie.
you only have one left at this point.
At this point, yeah, we got soccer mom jobs over here.
Yeah, that's those baits have gone wild lately, and I've dabbled in them a little bit this year. I have not. You know, we always question. We look at baits like that. It's like when the Alabama rig got big, and we say, why does a fish bite that? And the first question we always ask is, what does that mimic? Like, what does a bass think it is? And my opinion is an easy meal. That's what they think it is. I mean, it's like a lion in the wild. Like, he doesn't discriminate about what kind of animal walks by him unless he thinks it's one that might whip his butt. He's going to eat it. If he gets the opportunity, he's going to eat it. And a bass is no different. Like, if it's a crawfish, a lizard, a snake, a bug, a shad, a brim, another bass for that matter, and he gets an opportunity, he's hungry, he's going to eat it. When we put these little crazy-looking baits right in front of their face, it just looks like an easy meal to them. And we don't have to wonder every day of the week about what the bass think it is or what it's supposed to imitate. If they bite it, that's all that matters.
But if you had to guess what a bass thinks a koi key is, what do you?
Why did I know you were going to ask me that? Like,
Put you on the spot.
I'm
Like a
kidding.
little bowl of fry or
Maybe,
little,
yeah.
I think that's what they were.
I mean, we could pick a. I mean, we could probably come up with 100 ideas, but I have to think on that one, Maggie.
Ooh, I
Oh, here-
think Fisher and I is hooked up.
Yeah.
Maybe a better fish.
I saw when. Did he lose it?
Uh-oh. Sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Oh no.
Dang.
We got to see the final jump. Heartbreaker.
Jump off, just, I
You're
mean,
lucky
like
he
this
really
pond.
saved you there. You got saved by the hook set
Yeah,
on
that's
that
right.
question.
I'm still thinking. I got a lot of answers.
Freshwater octopus is what I
Yeah,
like.
that's right. Freshwater sea urchin.
What are we going to see next?
I'm not
You
that
probably
creative.
can't
Never
even
lost a
think.
fish all week
I
in
mean, we
practice.
probably couldn't sit here and even draw it up.
Looked like that one was on a much farther cast than what we've been seeing
Yeah.
from him too. It hurts when you
Mm.
only got one in the box.
Yeah, that's tough.
Plenty of time though.
I didn't get a peek at the fish really though.
I just saw the splash when it
Yeah.
landed, and it was not a small splash.
No.
It looked like a really good quality fish. We going out to cook now? Yeah, here we go to Drew.
Drew with one.
Still
in
sitting
the
on
box,
one
it looks
bass.
like. Yep.
Trey's shot this morning. and it
Throwing a jerk
didn't
bait,
work
looks
out.
like.
Hit another place that I hadn't really hit yet. And it also, they weren't acting correct there. There was bass in there for sure, but now we just got back to where we caught all of our weight yesterday. So we're gonna probably hunker down in here. There's some bass in here for sure. Maybe once that wind starts blowing, they might really start biting in here. So we just gotta stay calm and figure out how to catch some of these bass. Catch some of these big ones. 'Cause they're in here. See what we can figure out. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we didn't get in here until a little around lunch, so we're pretty well 2 hours ahead of schedule when we got in here. But I think if that wind will like just kick up a little bit, like just a little ripple, it'll help tremendously. I'm having them like get all on my bait, follow it, and like almost where you would think they're biting it, but then they just give up on it. I don't know why. Been switching colors and baits and like trying everything. But we're gonna figure it out here shortly.
Sounds like we should be ready to see some money moves.
I talk about timing. His timing's just a little off. But if that wind does activate his fish, he said they're still there. They're just not wanting to bite right now.
Still tons of fish in my area. It's just I'm not impressed with the size. So right now I'm checking some stuff in this area that sets up the same. If nothing happens soon, I have some more stuff up the lake that I haven't really got to hit in the tournament. So go look at that stuff. But yeah, from now on, it's going to be a mixture of known water and new water, trying to locate 4 to 6 pounders. I feel like I have the recipe figured out. I just got to duplicate it.
So Easton mentioned he has to call everything in the box to have a shot at this thing. So he
knows it.
yeah, he's going to start making some moves here shortly, he said.
Good schools on there.
All these guys are fishing relatively what I would consider for Tennessee River clean water. You know, it's got that pretty green tint to it, but and I think you know, they were on a much more consistent deal for the weather that ended up hitting these guys right before the Classic started. You know, I think there was close to a half-inch rain that fell, and you know, I heard from several guys. I think the guys that were on that really shallow largemouth deal, Brandon Lester and Brian Schmidt and some of that crew, that a lot of their primary areas got blown out.
Okay.
And you know, that's one thing you got to think about going into some of these tournaments, especially the Bassmaster Classic, is you can't have a plan A. You got to have a B, a C, a D, and an E, because Mother Nature never fails to always throw us a curveball. And you know, those guys talking about how strong of a shallow largemouth bite they were on. I think Bill Lowen mentioned that. But a lot of the shallow water guys were really, really excited coming into this tournament. And then again, things changed, and those fish, I'm sure they were still in the same areas, but they became really, really hard to catch. You got that fresh, muddy water coming in, the water mixing and things like that. And so they had to really, really kind of can that and try to start from ground zero, you know, on day one. And a lot of the guys just couldn't catch back up.
Yeah, we had a lot of water that moved through that system with that front, plus the cold front on top of that. I had a feeling that those shallow guys were going to struggle. It takes a couple days for that to kind of settle down and get back into where there's some stability in the conditions.
Yeah, as long as the Classic is, as far as the entire week is so spread out, you're talking about 9 or 10 days. When that storm hit, it was probably the absolute worst time it could have hit throughout the entire week. It was Thursday. It was the day before the Classic started.
Right.
Oh, here's our first look at Jordan.
Yeah.
And first look, it looks like a little bit of stained water.
Shallow, dirty water.
Yep. Love to see that.
Yep.
That's the first in the box for him, too.
And that's right at home for Jordan Lee.
Finally just reeled it around one.
We got a little swim jig.
Hey, it starts us off. You know, I haven't been able to go back to the same place and catch a fish, which has made it pretty challenging. So I'm just running new water every day, just fish some of the same stuff, but nothing. And so I came back to this creek just to try to get bit, and I caught one pretty quick. So, yeah, I mean, I know I'm not going to win the tournament. I mean, I'd like to catch some fish today.
So the first guy we've seen here looks like he's a little bit further back in the creek, so we've got some colored water. Just waiting for his fish to wake up.
He, you you know, Jordan's fishing his comfort zone. He's doing something a little different than the rest of the guys. The only thing that's working against him is going to be sheer quantity, sheer volume. The efficiency that these guys have now with live sonar, how many fish they're acting. You know, he's back here blind fishing basically. He's looking for new water. He just mentioned a minute ago he's not been able to duplicate and run the same water throughout this tournament and catch them. Yesterday, Jordan had a big bag, but I think he mentioned about not getting a whole lot of bites. And, you know, even if he catches 7, 8, 9, 10 keepers today, he's going to, I mean, they're going to have to all be 6-pounders, you know, to have a shot at this thing. So I know that's crazy. That's crazy to think about, but he needs 30 pounds. Like, he needs 30 pounds to make a run at this thing. I love what he's doing. And, you know, I mean, that's if I had to pick a way to catch him, he's probably, I think he's throwing a bladed jig, and that's as fun any as you know, to put yourself in a situation where you feel like you can catch 5 big largemouth. But again, he's going up against these guys out here. Every single cast they make is at a bass, and they're being super efficient with their time too, and catching a lot of fish, catching big numbers. So here's Dylan with 65 and some change. And, yeah, Easton still, he's about 12 pounds back now. So that's putting Dylan right around the 20-pound mark. And, you know, I'm still saying if he breaks 20 pounds, I mean, these boys got a tough road ahead of them.
Wesley rounding out top 10 with 41.13.
Yeah. How many fish is he sitting on, Christine?
He's got a limit there, Matt.
Okay, he does have a limit.
He's got a limit.
Test
there's
my
a couple
old
guys in
eyes.
the top 10 would look like 2 or 3 fish, but I think several of the guys at the top obviously have a limit.
Yep. A lot of room to grow. So, you know, Easton already mentioned that he's going to be making some moves here shortly. He said he's got the recipe, which means he's figured out the bait, figured out the cadence, things like that. He's just got to find a school of 4 to 6 pounders, and that's what he said. Makes him very dangerous because he's going to start covering more water. He's going to start covering new water, and obviously there's a lot of big fish out there. There's a lot of big fish biting. It's just going to take one right decision to put himself in a position where he might can catch a 25-pound bag. I don't know if 25 would even give him a shot to win, but it would it'd put him a lot closer. So he's about 12 pounds back now. I'm not sure exactly what his limit weighs. He said he needs to cull every single one of the ones he's got in the box, so I'm assuming he's probably 12 to 14 pounds if I had to guess. We haven't seen him catch what I would consider a game changer, the type quality fish he needs, like a 4 to 5 pounder. So he's got a ton of room to grow, but he's going to have to make some good decisions.
I have a feeling he might.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Easton is when he gets on the big stage, he makes magic happen, and we've seen that before. And you talk about cool, calm, and collected. Like it's hard for me to even get the boy to crack a smile when I'm talking to him sometimes. But great dude. Like, I got to share when we were at the owners tournament back in at Gunnersville this past year. I got to jump in the boat with Easton for a little bit, and he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want you to go out there and I want you, and we were in my boat, and I said, you're going to drop that trolling motor, you're going to go run my active target 2 around, and I'm going to watch. That's what we're going to do. And he's like, oh, okay. And, you know, he wasn't bashful about hiding anything. And, and you know, that's the cool thing about most of the guys in the Elite Series. Like, if we go up to another one and ask them something, you know, for the most part, they'll shoot us pretty straight because, you know, I mean, in this sport, where do you get from lying? You know, like, and that's the thing. Like, most people ask you something, you tell them the truth, and a lot of people think you're lying anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like, you tell them, you ask me a question about what I called them on. If I told you, would you believe me?
I would believe you.
Okay, you would believe me. Okay, all right. Well, that's good.
I don't know if I would.
Yeah, you don't know if you would?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, speaking of the owners tournament, Toyota is such an incredible sponsor of our sport, right? And this year at the owners tournament, we get to be there all together. They are taking that prize package up from $5,000 to $15,000, and they are giving away a new truck. How incredible is that?
Well, and don't forget to mention 0 entry for the tournament too.
That's right.
Fishing for $15,000.
Yeah, free entry fee. And I challenge anybody that has not been to a Toyota owners event to talk to somebody that has, because how many people do we have that are return anglers that come to those events that say once they came to one that they didn't ever want to miss another one? And it's been a few years since we've been able to give away a vehicle, but the fact that we're giving away a Tundra to somebody that's signed up to fish that tournament, have to be present, of course, but that's pretty dang awesome. And then $15,000, because this is what? the 15th year, right?
That's right.
Yeah, 15th year of the owners tournament. So Toyota always really rolls out the red carpet for the people that support the brand, and that tournament is it's a very special event. They take care of everybody so well. Like Maggie said, it is a free entry fee, and they pay 31 places. I believe it's 31 places, and you get like several $100s of Team Toyota fishing swag.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody always asks me, where can I get one of them cool hoodies or hats? And I'm
Yep.
like, just come
I've
to
had that all week.
come
at the
be a
show.
part of the owners
up.
tournament. You can get it. So
Yep.
here we go. We're headed back out to the lake, and we're going to get to watch some highlights from Dylan this morning.
Boy, the water's pretty.
Oh.
Is that it? Was that it?
Did he just show it? I think I got a glimpse there.
or
He
did he
said
pick-
it too.
did he
It
pick
was
up one?
quiet. He said. I thought he said what it was.
Probably said prototype. Maybe.
No.
Look,
Oh.
look.
They must have gave him the go-ahead.
Final day of the Bassmaster Classic. I feel like that's a good move.
Yeah, I think so too. a lot of hype around that.
Gosh, the way he flips those bass and
He takes command of
He
those
does.
bass.
Absolutely.
I feel like when you're watching Dylan, you know it's a big one when he sits down in that seat to scoop it. Otherwise,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
flipping.
We've seen him boat flip 3.5 pounders.
It's on spinning
on
rods.
spinning tackle, which tells me I'm guessing they're using a little bit heavier leader than
Absolutely.
usually.
I would imagine,
Absolutely.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
imagine. And here we are back out to him live. So, let's see what his smallest fish is. I'm guessing it's over 3.
My goodness.
I feel like whenever we've got Dylan on the screen, I'm just watching. I'm not talking because
Oh, I know it.
I
I
just
know
it.
something's
Hard not
gonna happen soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Every time.
And if you look at him on the map there, he's relatively, really close. It looks like to Drew Cook. As Drew said, he had made a move back to where he caught the majority of his weight yesterday. His fish just weren't acting right yet. That wind that was supposed to blow 10 to 20 out of the south today is what I saw.
Doesn't look like it's blowing.
Still pretty dang
No.
slick out there, but Drew made a good comment, and I agree that if that wind really starts to kick up, that it may activate his fish a little bit more. He said he can still see them, and there's a lot of big ones in the area, so could be a big player here in a little bit.
Well, and what you were talking about with that Carolina rig, being able to see the fish following, he says
Yeah.
he's getting that they're following and looking at it, and
That
just
they're
not
looking at his
biting.
bait, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Trey McKinney.
I don't think we've seen him catch a couple 3-pounders, but I don't think he's got any really big fish in the box yet either. Plenty of room to grow. Hooked up.
Looks like that might be a better fish.
Golly, man.
Playing it like it'll help him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty big one. Pretty big one. Come on. There we go.
You got her.
There we go. Woohoo! That's a tub of a smallmouth.
Beautiful
Yeah, that's a
smallmouth.
good one there.
Like a
One of the
tub.
taller ones I've
It's
seen.
not the
this week.
healthiest fish you could ever catch.
That one's
feels
built
heavy.
right.
Yep.
How big, Christine?
Because it
I'm gonna
is
say
heavy.
that's 3.8.
I like that cast.
Purple. 3 3/4.
You catch that?
3 3/4.
3
Or,
3/4.
I don't know. You hear better than I do.
I got that tonight.
I heard. I heard 3 1/4.
I got the ear problems. Matt's got the eye problems. Maggie, you got to hold this down for
I
us.
got all kinds of problems.
I've got. Yeah, I was gonna say.
There we go.
Good fish.
There we go.
It's a big coal.
He's getting a crowd out there too.
Take those.
Well, he just said a 4-pounder. I know how the game's played.
You're confusing us, Trey.
We were talking about sandbagging yesterday.
Well, he said 3 3/4 because I feel like that's what he wanted entered on Bass Track. He may have told his
The entourage.
fans or
the
family
entourage
members,
fired up.
possibly sponsors might be following him. And, you know, it was a 4-pounder. It was a heavy fish, like he said. It was
Yeah.
built right.
Yeah, I feel like so many have been longer this
Right.
week, and that one was tall.
Yeah, that's like that meanmouth that Dakota caught.
Yeah.
That was just built different. Those meanmouth, it's funny because a lot of states, you know, don't recognize it as a species.
Right.
But that to me is one of the coolest fish. Like, I mean, I've ever had to play. We used to fish Beaver Lake back in the day, and it's had quite a few meanmouths in it. And I mean, they live up to their name. They're aggressive. Like, why would you not like to have a bass like that in your
Right.
lake? You know, but it is a crossbreed, and I understand.
Remind the Wisconsinite, please. Smallmouth and spot?
Yep.
Is that?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, I've never caught one of those.
Not every fishery has them, but there's JT hooked up. Oh no. Pretty fast cadence with his jerkbait there.
Yeah.
We were noticing that yesterday with him and that jerkbait. It's like his forearms have got to be on fire.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any updates on water temps out there today? I haven't heard.
I have not. I know, obviously, before that front hit, which it's been kind of on a gradual warming trend throughout the Classic, but I think before that front hit, they had some upper 50s.
Okay.
You know, which this fishery is very, very complex, very long, different water clarities, different creeks that feed, rivers feed. I'm sure it fluctuated quite a bit throughout this fishery, though.
Well, and that's what
Tellico being a little bit cooler, I'm sure.
what was interesting to me too. The first time I had ever fished it this week was, I mean, we even saw such different water temps from Cherokee to Douglas, and then
He's
now.
hooked up.
Oh
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no,
I
please.
saw not one that's going to help him, though.
No. They must like that fast cadence.
Yeah. He's sitting on 4 fish. He may have to put that one on the board. Doesn't
I
look
was
like
gonna,
it's 15.
I'm not
yeah,
sure that would
no,
hit 15.
Not even 15. You know, I'd say that's such a big difference maker this time around. A 15-inch size limit, but if you had 5 15-inchers, didn't make a difference anyway. You know.
Right.
I'm showing some earlier
Maybe
catches.
some highlights here. It's a better one.
Yeah. He's done all his
Well, I
damage
was-
on jerkbait.
Jerkbait, yeah.
I think he had that locked in his hands pretty much the majority of the day yesterday, too.
What's got him there is going to stick with his confidence, babe.
That's always a player this time of year on this
Yeah.
fishery.
Well, it looks like JT's still one shy of a limit, so we're getting ready to take a look at the current leaderboard here, and yeah, that's JT sitting in 4th place at 47-1, still one shy of a limit, if my eyes are correct.
You are correct.
Dylan's still leading and got a heck of a margin there. Easton talking about making some moves, hopefully getting around some better quality fish. Trey sitting on a limit, but he's still got a lot of room to upgrade too. It's going to be an exciting afternoon because I do think the bite's only going to get better. I mean, we got that big front rolling in tonight. I'm looking at, there's a lot of rain in the forecast potential really tomorrow, really heavy storms and things like that coming too. So anytime you get those pre-front conditions and you get a little wind and things, it really starts to activate a fishery. The fishing this afternoon should be phenomenal, needless to say.
I'm still keeping an eye on Drew Cook. Was
Yeah.
9th place, right, with 1 fish?
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
want him to get up there and just kind of average out the median age of those top 3 right
Yeah.
Right.
What is the median age of the top 3?
It's got to be 20.
Let's
We
see.
got Dylan.
You got
Dylan's
Dylan, who's
22,
20,
23.
22, and Trey is Trey 20?
20.
20. JT, he might be the oldest.
Easton.
Easton, that's
Easton's in
right.
second.
How old's Easton?
I mean, Easton's
Is he 20?
22.
Ah, you could add 2 of them together and not equal me. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. All right, let's talk about something else. For the average age of the top 5 anglers, but yeah, Drew would be I guess he's by far the oldest sitting in the top 10 right now. And you got Justin Atkins. I think he's up there too. Justin's still looking to make some moves also because he's got a lot of room to grow. And again, one right decision on this fishery, the way it's setting up, current, wind, things like that are changing by the hour. So I'm looking for some magic to happen this afternoon for some of these guys. And even though some of the guys way back in the pack, bottom, 15, 20th place, whatever it is, your paycheck can still be upgraded quite a bit if you can make some calls, throughout the afternoon and figure out a way to do that. So should be a lot of fun to watch.
The Toyota booth is hopping here at the
I'll tell you what,
at the
it's getting
Expo.
loud in here, and I keep seeing people walking by and stopping behind the cameras and things like that. And I'm sure today is going to be no different. But I had to slide up actually on the retail floor yesterday for about 30 minutes, and it might have taken me 30 minutes just to get to the booth I was supposed to be at because people were elbow to elbow up there. And then you get back down here, things are a little bit more spread out on the bottom floor here, but the traffic's just as heavy, if not worse. But yeah, this is great. I mean, Knoxville always shows out for a classic, and we'll be back. I'm sure we'll be back in Knoxville, whether it's for another classic years to come or a Bassmaster Elite tournament or whatever it may be. Maybe even an open or something like that here soon.
Be all for it.
I know they have been to Douglas, I believe, in the last few years, and Norris and Cherokee and that whole system. But Loudon Tellico is always a popular place just for bass fishing in general, and you can tell by looking around at the Expo right now, it's slammed. I'm thinking about that aquarium over there, and I'm wondering how many people are walking by that aquarium and figuring out that meanmouth in there is the same one they saw get weighed in on the stage yesterday.
The second this headset comes off,
you're going to look at it. Yeah, you're going to look at it. Yeah, it's a beautiful fish. That's a once in a lifetime fish. You got to think about a meanmouth. And I caught a meanmouth on Lake Norman. This has been 7 or 8 years ago. I was actually fishing with Shane LaHue in a tournament there, and a fellow elite angler and a good friend of mine. And I caught a 529 meanmouth. And I wanted to get it registered as state record, but North Carolina would not recognize it as a species either. Wow. Yeah. So. All right, we're looking at some highlights from the day so far. There's Trey McKinney. Good, solid largemouth.
Midday report sponsored by Toyota. Speaking of Toyota.
That's it.
Again, Trey is a really fun angler to watch. Just his energy and commentary, it's just, it's fun.
He's so relaxed.
He is.
It was like whatever. Earlier I heard him say, whatever, dude, and he was talking to the fish, like, cause I'm sure it was one that denied his bait or his cadence or whatever he was throwing at it, but he said, whatever, dude. And he kind of reminds me when I was in high school, kind of,
Very
just laid back, carefree, whatever, dude,
And I feel like it's really rare, Matt. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do we see him outside of the top 10 very often?
No, the kid can catch him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
Scope, no scope.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Looking at Easton Fothergill here too. I will say, we're talking about how calm, cool, and collected he always is, but I'm a little worried. Does he seem a little flustered to you the past couple clips?
Well, I mean, he's tasted classic victory.
Right.
So you got to understand probably what's going through his mind is like he's not happy with anything but first place, which nobody should be the final day of the classic. And he knows he's not around the fish to win the classic. So, yeah, I'm sure Maggie, in his head, he's probably a little bit frustrated because he's been catching a lot better quality fish than what he is today. And he knows he's going to have to make some big changes. So, but he said he's going to do that.
Yeah.
And look, he's got to leave no regrets out there, you know, and that's where he's at in his mind. He's going to start making moves.
I just hope he can keep that composure and make it happen.
Yep. There's debate again, Christine.
There it was. You guys saw it with your own eyes.
Do you know what it's called? I know you can't tell us, but is there a name for this bait?
There
and
is a
stuff?
name for it.
Okay.
And Matt, I'm curious, and I don't know this. He's obviously not an Elite Series angler. He's not fishing the opens. If a guy from the nation does qualify for the Classic, is there any type of Elite Series bid there or anything structured around that?
I know that the Federation Nation champion, you know, is the one that gets a bid to the Elite Series.
Right.
I do not think, you know, him winning the Classic does not get him a bid to the Elite Series.
Got it. I was asked that last night by several people, and I said, I don't think so, but I'm going to verify.
I hope I'm right on that. But I mean, we have, of course, you know what's funny is we haven't had, I'm trying to think the last Classic champion that we had other than Brian Kershaw that was not a current elite angler.
Was there one?
I do not know. We need Ronnie Moore. We need the statistics king around to ask him that question. But yeah, that's interesting because, you know, I've actually heard a lot of people say that, hey, if he wins a Classic, he gets to fish the Elites next year. I don't think that's the case.
I didn't think so either.
I don't think that's the case. The nation champion, though, does get an opportunity to fish the Elites next year. So, but I guess he is the nation champion, correct?
He is.
Well, there you go.
Well, did they qualify? Is it the champion or I believe it was top 3. Was that right? That qualified at lacrosse?
Okay, maybe that's. I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to study up on that. Yep.
I gotta add real quick. We're looking at some highlights from the weigh-in last night. Justin Atkins was electric.
Yeah,
up there
yeah,
last
that
night.
was cool.
Oh my gosh.
That was cool.
JT.
So
here
many
weighing
giant
in.
smallmouth brought across the stage.
Easton.
That's a meanmouth right there in Easton's left hand.
Okay.
So
His left or our left?
His left. Sorry, his left hand. 90% sure that's a meanmouth.
Okay.
You can double check by the tooth patch on the tongue.
Gosh.
Sometimes you can look at the patterns on them, and their dorsal fin is a little bit different too.
Okay.
There's Drew's giant. That is a healthy largemouth.
Yeah.
I'd say.
There he
There's
is.
double 6-pounders.
Current leader.
Not too shabby.
Did you hear him last night when he was weighing in big and they told him what big currently was? He goes, that's big.
Yeah, he said that.
funny.
It's crazy when you got two
That's big.
6-pounders and you know they're not running
Right.
for big fish. Because I think the first day it was like a 5'9" or something.
Yeah.
Chris Johnson had it. Here we are back out to Jordan. Yep.
So it looks a little chilly out today. He's got a puffy on. I'm surprised. Did you guys see that camo onesie he was wearing?
No, I
weeks
missed
ago?
that. I
I'm
missed that.
surprised he's not wearing that out there today. That was a big hit.
It's always a little cooler on the water. He's hooked up.
Hooked up.
Pretty good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that's good.
Big largemouth. Oh, he's got it barely hooked on a crankbait. And then barely hooked. That fish just nipped that bait.
There's a fat
God, look
one.
how that fish is built.
Barely hooked.
Just like a little frit side hanging out of his mouth.
Yes, sir. Look at that one.
That's a big one.
Fish. What's that going to
Yes.
go, Matt?
Oh, it's well over 4.
In the mud.
I think it's bigger than that, Maggie? No,
I don't.
it's built right. That's if he tells us the truth. Now, keep that in mind. Not even going to tell us.
That's going to keep me up tonight. Matt.
So there looks like a shot, good drone shot of, is that the bridge there on Loudon? Yep. Believe it is.
Beautiful city. Always
Yep.
enjoy coming here to Knoxville. They're such a great supporter of the Bassmaster Classic and bass fishing in general. And we can see that by all of the people that are here
Yeah.
at the Expo, hanging out at the Toyota booth, checking everything out.
It's truly one of my favorite venues, too. It's just the perfect setup. You can walk over to
Everything's
to take
so
off,
close, yeah.
to the Expo, hotels. It's such a fantastic venue.
Some really good places to eat downtown Knoxville, too.
I'm taking recommendations.
Have you had the opportunity to go to Lonesome Dove? Take that opportunity.
All right.
Yeah. Just trust me.
All
Just
right.
look up the menu when
That
we get
based
off
in
when we get off the
Texas?
set here. I do not think it's a chain.
It's not?
Yeah, I mean you would think Lonesome Dove might be based in
There's
Texas,
a
but
Lonesome Dove in downtown Fort Worth. That's incredible.
is it
Tim loves.
wild game driven?
It's not wild game driven.
Okay, so this is basically more of a wild game restaurant. Now they have they have steaks and things like that, but they have a lot of really different cool items on the menu, from rattlesnake, rabbit, bison.
I want to try some
oysters.
rattlesnake.
They have
Sounds
elk, lamb, all the above.
All right, Christine, I'll make a reservation.
Take your wallet.
go.
Take your wallet. It's not cheap, but it's worth every
I
penny.
thought it was on you.
I've already been. I've already been. But yeah, it was. We went there. I guess it was Wednesday night or Thursday night. It was Thursday night, and it was a.
Good one.
Yeah, if
right.
there's one place in Knoxville I want to go at least one time while I'm visiting this city, that's where it's at.
Noted. I'll report back. This has to be Dylan Nutt's crew again here.
Yeah, that's. Looks like he's made another move. One thing, he's catching them, better than anybody out there, and he's moving just as much, if not more than anybody
Yeah,
out
what
there.
is
yeah.
he
Bit of a-
set up on here?
A little bit of underwater
Little
island
Yep.
right there.
Looks like a little shoal there. Boy, that's a beautiful shot of what he's fishing.
Yeah, it is.
Great drone work by the crew here.
A recipe for a big smallmouth for me.
Shout out to Wes Miller, I
yeah,
believe is
that's
operating
right.
the
That's
drone.
right. Yeah, that is a
Give that man a raise.
That's
really,
nice.
really good shot.
Doesn't that make you just want to go quick put the bat in?
What are you guys pull up to this hump here, this underwater island? What are you throwing at it?
Oh, well, I mean, he's obviously using his live sonar, and
Yeah.
he's been catching the majority of his fish. Looks like shaking some type of minnow-style bait. Something like that this time of year, me personally, confidence bait would be a jerkbait. The way that place sets up, it looks like he's fishing a little bitty saddle and or a swing right in front of that little rock island there, which is a perfect staging spot and or even a possible spawning spot for some of these big smallmouths. So we heard, I believe it was Trey that we mentioned earlier, that he caught one or two smallmouth that he felt like were probably spawning. And you can see them, on your live sonar if they're sitting on those targets and things like that, and make a pretty educated guess on whether that fish is spawning, especially if it comes up on your bait and goes right back to the same rock or stump or whatever it may be. But it looks like he's probably still sticking with, I'm sure, what he's been catching them on. But yeah, pulling up something like that, a jerkbait's one of the first things I pick up. The wind's really blowing, a shallow running crankbait or something is a really good choice too. And of course, in this day and age, it's all plastic minnow. It's all plastic minnow.
You
Obviously,
can't go wrong with
obviously that's the deal. So it looks like he's making a lot of casts though. So I'm not sure if he's still using that same approach, or if he's actually chunking and winding something right now. It just looks to me like he's making a lot of casts, a lot of repeated casts, but obviously hard to tell from the drone shot, but you can get a great picture of what he's actually fishing there.
And it's not quite as easy to see at this angle, but I almost feel like that is the most ripple we've seen all day. So
Yeah,
far.
and of course he's out in the middle of the lake, so
Right.
we may see the wind pick up here a little more and more throughout the day, and it's supposed to.
Well, those guys are praying for it. How many times have you been out there in the water when you're supposed to get a wind coming through and you're not getting it, and you know
I
that you
know.
need to fire that bite up?
And well, the problem is I do at least. I formulate a lot of my game plans based on the wind forecast. I use a couple different apps, and the Windy app, and the Wind Finder app.
That's that it was invented by sailors, so it's accurate.
What, the Wind
Windy.
Finder? The Windy app.
Yep, the
Okay.
Windy app.
Well, now I bounce back and forth between the two, but you're telling me the Windy app's the one I really
I
need
think
to be
that's the go-
trusting.
that's-
Okay.
That's the deal right
Well,
there.
okay, so I looked at it's funny you said that, because I looked at the Wind Finder. There's your wind right there. It's starting
Yep.
to pick up really.
You see it just rippling
With the
on
sun,
Yeah,
water.
you
you can
really
see it a little bit
there.
better. Of course, he's out kind of towards the center of the lake there, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But yeah, that I formulate a lot of my game plans based on the wind and the direction of the wind, especially when we're on really large fisheries, because it will take certain stretches completely out of play.
I've learned that.
Yeah, you've learned it the hard way, just like me. But yeah, that's always a factor, and especially on clear water fisheries, where they can be very conditional, very situational. Wind can make a huge difference in the bite windows and things like that.
Looks like he's moving up.
Yeah, he's
shallower,
sliding up a
easing
little
on in.
shallower. Yep. So y'all, you know, we're gonna have to wrap it up here shortly, but I tell you what, I'm still pretty excited about the weigh-in today. I know Dylan's got a big lead, but we've seen what can happen on this fishery. We've seen the quality of the fish being caught. We've seen 7-pounders, 6-pounders. Wouldn't surprise me to see an 8-pounder. And I believe it was Alex Redwine caught a 10-pounder. He was either a 9.
Practice.
Yes, in pre-practice, caught either a 9 or 10-pounder. So they live here, and those fish are. I mean, those are difference makers, and it would not surprise me to see a giant like that come across the stage here in a little while.
And like we've said, we got to go work now, so we won't really be watching.
Yeah,
so we're gonna be surprised either way.
That's right. Yeah, we are going to be surprised, but it's always entertaining to watch the weigh-in on the final day of the Bassmaster Classic, and I'm sure the boys are going to put on a show.
They always do. With
Yeah.
that lineup and that list of talent, it's going to be a good one here in Knoxville.
Yep. Y'all have a favorite to win, and don't. Okay, you can't pick Dylan because he's obviously the odds-on favorite. Y'all have a favorite to win.
I'm going to say Easton. I want to
Easton?
see that repeat. I want to see the back-to-back. He's a great kid. What a great story, what he's overcame. I'd
Yeah.
love to see him go back-to-back.
Yep, Maggie.
I was gonna say the same.
Easton.
I
Did you just say that because
a
she said
fellow
that?
Team Toyota member, great kid, talented angler. So
Matt?
I'm gonna root for Cook. I'm gonna root for Cook. Yeah,
I'd like to
fellow
see that.
AFCO pro.
I'd like to see that come back.
But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yep.
Can't wait for the weigh-in today, and hope to see everybody there. So it's gonna be a blast.
Thank you all.